There are so many opportunities to connect with our Bristol community. Here to help make those connections are Tara Ellis, Steve Craddock, and David Hacker. You're watching your Hometown Connection, brought to you by the BTES 10 Gigabit Community.
Welcome to this episode of Your Hometown Connection. Today we're going to be hearing from Matt Bolus. He is the Executive Director for Explore Bristol.
Yep.
And he's going to be talking a little bit about what they do to promote tourism here in Bristol.
Yep, and he's going to highlight that new visitor center that was built, which is very exciting. Great way to promote our area. We've talked about all the things that we have here to offer, and he even mentions sometimes we take those things for granted, and it's a great way to highlight the things that are available to us as community members every day. So it's exciting. Yeah,
me myself, I've not did a whole lot of the things that I've seen there. And like you said, I don't take advantage of it, and I know I should.
Right. Well, we all need to plan a staycation and stay at home and celebrate the area that we have.
Right.
It is very exciting. And as always, another exciting time of the year is football season.
It's football time in Tennessee. We're real excited.
It is, and it's time for Gridiron Gameday to come back. So Chris and his team are counting down the days, every minute, marking it off the calendar, and excited for games to start.
It's our 11th year doing it.
11 years. It's hard to believe it was 11 years ago, and I was on that team, working in that trailer. It was a lot of fun, but I know the people they have doing it today do a much better job than I did.
Yeah,
but,
it was really fun. I got the opportunity to run a camera a couple different times, and it was really interesting to see the behind the scenes things of how that goes on, the production of it. It's really great.
There's so much that goes into that.
They do a great job.
They do. So Hope and Ron and Chris are going to be here to tell us about the season and all the games. We're covering several games this year. I think it may be the most games we've covered in a season, so very exciting. So we're going to take a look at those segments, and then we'll be back.
Hi, I'm Matt Bolus. I'm Executive Director of Explore Bristol, which is the tourism office for Bristol. Explore Bristol is the official tourism office for Bristol, and our job is to bring people to Bristol, out-of-town visitors, to work with them, provide information, encourage them to explore all of our town, whether it be downtowns. They come in for events like the races or something with the birthplace of country music, Tennessee Hills. There's a lot of places that you can visit, and our goal is to help those people who may be first-time visitors about all that they can do. Explore Bristol is a nonprofit organization, and we're similar to what you see in other cities, whether Johnson City, Asheville, Knoxville, and our goal is to bring people from out of town, have them spend their money. It improves the tax base, it keeps our taxes lower, and improves our quality of life when out-of-town visitors come and spend their money. We are funded through the cities, through actually the hotel and lodging tax. So there's an extra tax that's on each hotel room, and that's what funds us. So we are not a part of the property tax or any of the other taxes that are in the community. We're actually funded and have a dedicated tax that funds us and the visitor center that we just opened, and that is state law. So those extra taxes that go to hotels go back to tourism and promotion, and encourage people to spend more money and visit here and help our economy. The Explore Bristol Visitor Center, we just opened within the last 2 months in late spring. We're excited. We have a few little tweaks that we're doing here and there on the outside, so you'll see some landscaping changes. But inside, we're fully operational. We have different displays. We have displays that talk about downtown. We have displays that talk about our breweries and distilleries, the Speedway. Our music heritage is a wonderful display. It talks about Tennessee Ernie Ford and the first recordings of country music. There's touchscreen technology so that people can explore our own city through their website, or look at restaurants, look at where places to shop, or outdoor river scenic views and all those kinds of things. We have brochures, we have a little bit of swag and souvenirs, but our goal is to push people out into the community. So when you come in, you'll see photos, you'll see all of the beautiful images of Bristol with QR codes, and then QR codes to some of our larger attractions attractions that encourage people to go downtown and take a photo in front of the Bristol sign, or go to the Paramount, or go to anywhere throughout the town. Or a lot of people that do come in, and we just saw recently with some of the race events, a lot of race fans come in here during the week because they have time and they want to know, hey, I'm here for the races and the drag races. What else can I do? What else can I go see? And so we help them with maps and all of that information, and encourage them to spend as much time here. With Explore Bristol, we work with pretty much any event that's coming into town. Our job is the marketing aspect. We really push out. Sometimes locals will not see our advertising because we're advertising 50 miles plus. We're trying to get people who are 3 and 4 hours away, or they're from a flight city like DC or Orlando or Atlanta or Nashville, and they're coming into town. We're helping those people because a lot of them are first timers. So we do help them with maps and information, or they will call or mail us for visitor guides, and we work hard with the events that are coming into town, whether it's the races, whether it's Bristol Rhythm and Roots, Sounds of Summer, they have them Tuesday and Thursday nights. That just reinforces our music heritage and our live downtown series. So we push those things because the out-of-town visitor may not be aware of them. But while they're here, we're like, hey, this is going on at the downtown center at the Muir, or this is going on with a border bash or something with Believe in Bristol in our Main Street program. So we are kind of that conduit to yell all of the great work that those events are being had in town. And let me tell you, there are literally thousands of events going on in Bristol, because tourism is every day of the week, 24/7, 365 days of the year. Being raised in this area, I think sometimes we overlook what we have in our own backyard. We are very fortunate in Bristol, in this region, to have incredible outdoor recreation assets. We have major attractions like the birthplace of country music, and we also have the Bristol Motor Speedway. Some communities would just love to have one of those. We have multiple major attractions. We know our downtown. There's no downtown like our downtown. I mean, with it being on the state line, and there's soon going to be a selfie spot that you can stand safely in the road and take photos of the marker and the sign. As locals, we always are careful that those people, that we know that they're standing in the traffic, we know they're from out of town because they want that. But it's really neat to see the city work on that and have a new spot for them near the train station where they can safely stand in the road. But coming here is, we're very unique. Our food is unique. Our Appalachian culture, our Southern hospitality, those are real, tangible things that sometimes we don't see them, but they're really tangible from an experience standpoint, especially from people that come from larger cities that do not have the quote mom and pop restaurants and don't have the unique shopping and downtown. But when you package that all together, we have a lot going on here. I would encourage the locals to come to the visitor center as well. Like, well, I'm not a visitor, I live here, but come to the visitor center. We have, information. You may have people coming in for a family reunion, or family or parents or children who coming in for the holidays. We have little gift items and stuff like that, but we also have information that you can take back for them when they're coming in town. So we're open to locals and visitors, and we encourage you to stop by and visit with us, and maybe there's something here that you've not realized we have in our own community, and you can go explore it yourself.
Back into Hometown Connection, and we've got a special segment for you here today. It is our 2026 Gridiron Game Day schedule reveal, and we are your broadcast team for Gridiron Game Day, our second year working together. I am Chris Mangrum, play-by-play announcer. Alongside me, we also have Ron Marvel, our color analyst, and Hope Godsey on the sidelines again, back with us. A couple highlights of this year's schedule. It is the 11th season of Gridiron Game Day here on BTES Power 7. We'll celebrate our 100th broadcast for Gridiron Game Day later this year. As always, we have multiple rivalry matchups. We have playoff positioning late in the year, senior nights, homecomings, you name it. A lot to be excited about for this year's schedule. And Hope, I know this is your second year doing this. You kind of joined us mid-season last year. What are you most looking forward to this year?
So obviously I am excited to be here for my first full season. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming up this season that you're going to want to stick around for. But I think overall I'm excited to meet some more people in the community and just have some great interviews with people.
Hope will be roaming the sidelines all throughout the season, talking to coaches, students as well, and those community figures that you talked about. Now, Ron, as we dig into a little bit of the football, these three teams, they've lost a lot of key players from the teams we saw last year. What are you excited about most as we start to learn about this year's teams and maybe see who might be filling some of those roles?
You know, it's so exciting getting to do what we do, because not only do we talk about X's and O's, we also talk about these individual kids, and we learn the story. So the opportunity to come, to get to do another season, to sort of not only learn about the athletes, but also the players themselves. It just makes for exciting times, and it makes for better broadcasting too.
We've got some great games and some great stories coming up this year. After the break, we'll tell you more about this year's schedule.
First give, it's Amix. Touchdown, Westridge.
Welcome back into our 2026 schedule reveal for Gridiron Game Day. He's Ron Marvel, I'm Chris Mangrum, and let's break down the games that we're going to see on BTES Power 7 this fall. And we're going to start on a Thursday night, Ron, a really special opening weekend. We're going to see all three of our teams, East, Westridge, and Tennessee High, in action on this first weekend. Thursday, August 20th, it's Johnson County at Sullivan East in a game that last year was pretty close.
Yes, 26-21, just happened to look at it today. And if you'll remember that game, they had an opportunity, East that is, to punch it in, and they couldn't get it done. And Chris, you and I talked about this several times. The loss of that game, I really kind of think set the table for East moving forward.
Yeah, we'll see if Sullivan East can get off to a good start in that home opener. They have that Thursday night pretty much all to themselves in a sense to open up the season. And there'll be some new playmakers as well in some key spots. We'll get into that more as we get closer to the season. And the night after, Friday, August 21st, Westridge comes to the Stone Castle to play Tennessee High. Both teams finished 6-5 last year. Both teams made the playoffs. Westridge got the better of Tennessee High in this matchup last year in the pouring rain.
It was awful. Yeah, and you know, when we look at these two teams, I think about two teams that want to be physical. And this is sort of a barometer. When we talked to the coaches, both of them sort of said, hey, this is sort of where we figure out where we're at. When you're replacing seniors, setting that tone for physicality sometimes can be difficult. So really interested early on to see what these two coaches roll out.
Week 2, we will head down to Westridge for our first game down in Blountville as they take on Crockett in a rematch from last year. Westridge won that game 41-10, and it was after that game, Ron, that we saw that Westridge was a really good football team, especially running the football with Ethan Amix, who is no longer on the team due to graduation.
Yeah, and you know, when I look, if I can flip it a little bit, when I look a little bit at this Crockett team, you know, I kind of am really interested to see how they figure out their running back room. If they can figure out that running back room, I really think that this is a Crockett team that might surprise some people this year.
On to week 3. It is September 4th, where Cherokee will visit East in a region matchup. Cherokee won this game pretty handily last year. It will be a tough test for the Patriots.
Yeah, good quarterback play was fundamental last year to what Cherokee did. Can they repeat on that? And at this point in time, 4 games into the season, where's Sullivan East going to be at this point?
Lots of unknowns that we can't wait to find out the answers to. On to week 4, and it'll be a special night as it is September 11th, 25 years since 9/11 happened, as well as the homecoming game for Tennessee High against Cocke County. Last year, Tennessee High won 35-0, one of their 2 shutouts on the season. And the last time the Vikings lost to this Cocke County team was 2016. So the Vikings should be favored in this
Yes,
one.
they should. Just as a reminder, and I've talked about this a lot, Tennessee High last year, that 0-3 start. They got it going late. I'm sure this year that they're looking for a much quicker start. Brutal on the front side. But, Chris, the whole key to a high school football schedule is to take care of the teams that you should be able to beat.
And in week 5, we'll be right back at the Stone Castle for a game that means a lot to this community, as Tennessee High will host Virginia High in the VT game. These 2 teams played last year, sort of renewed that rivalry that existed for many years. This will be the first time these 2 teams have played in the Stone Castle since 2018. Should be a fun game.
Yeah, kind of a border war right here, right? So, I mean, these 2 teams, as we talk about motivations, we talk about purpose and reasons for showing up. By this point in time in the season, you shouldn't need any kind of reason at all. But natural rivalry here and bragging rights should be a good matchup.
As you can see, some really exciting games in this first half of the schedule. We'll take a break and we'll come back and tell you more about the second half of our Gridiron Game Day schedule this year with playoff positioning on the line.
There's some pressure on Lingerfeld. Ball thrown up, a chance. Ike Deal, the freshman, his 3rd touchdown of the year, and the Patriots convert.
Welcome back in. It's time to reveal the second half of our Gridiron Game Day schedule for 2026. And on Friday, September 25th, we're going to be back at Sullivan East, where the Patriots are going to host a Granger team that played them pretty close last year.
Yeah, 27-22. East, last year lost 2 games by 5 points each. And, when it comes to sort of turning around a program like Simmons wants to do, you've got to put some wins together. Wins will anchor your program in the same way a pattern of losses will anchor your program as well. So, interesting matchup right there. And the question, can East take care of business as they get this point in their schedule?
East looking to put an end to a losing streak, and that is a game that's going to be circled by a lot of East fans because of how close it was last year. The following week, we'll have a Thursday night special on October 1st. No Friday game that week as Morristown West comes up I-81 to play Westridge. Now, we know Morristown West has a new head football coach. This was a close game last year, even though Ethan Amix did not play. Lots of unknowns in this one, Ron.
Yeah, new coach and Darryl Green, so we're not quite sure what West's mentality or what their identity is going to be by this point. And really, when I look at this game and Westridge as a whole, who's going to replace Ethan Amix? Now, you and I've talked about somebody, and we kind of feel like it may be Orlando Mack, and you know how strong I am on him. Can Orlando Mack go both sides of the football? So another great matchup right there.
Friday, October 9th, we will not have a game as all 3 of our teams, Tennessee High, Sullivan East, and Westridge, are either off themselves or on the road. So we will take a break on the 9th, but be right back with a primetime matchup the following Friday night, October 16th, as Sevier County travels to Bristol to take on the Vikings. The Smoky Bears lost in the state championship game last year. You know, that's kind of left a bad taste in their mouth. It'll be a big test for the Vikings.
Cooper Newman, that name goes without saying. He's going to be a senior, and I know there's nothing more than he and the coaching staff down at Sevier County would like to see than to finish on a high note of another state championship. I'll remind everybody, 2 years ago when these same Bears came to the Stone Castle, that game was a lot closer It went well into the third quarter before the Bears could create some distance from them. So we'll see how that matchup comes along.
The following week, another region matchup as Science Hill takes on Westridge. Now, this was a pretty close game last year, 2-touchdown game. Science Hill lost a lot off of their team from last year. I think this could be a sneaky game for a Westridge team that's never beaten Science Hill before.
Well, and two, if you're a Westridge fan, and now we're starting to get into that beef of the schedule, and we start talking about postseason as well. And so if you're a Westridge fan, what you do not want to see again is a repeat trip down to Skeeter Field to face Maryville. And if you're wanting to avoid that, then you've got to take care of business against Science Hill, and you've also got to look at that Jeff County team that's a little bit later on the schedule.
Sure. And in our final week of the regular season, we started the season with a doubleheader. We're ending the season with a doubleheader as Daniel Boone will face off with Tennessee High on Thursday night on their senior night. Tennessee High won this game 41-7 last year. It was the 5th game that Tennessee High's defense allowed 7 points or less from that impressive group. But you and I have talked about this, Ron. A lot of those names are no longer there for the Vikings.
They're replacing a lot. And then when you look at the other side of the football, we're talking about traditionally a very good program in Daniel Boone, a very good program with a quality coach that's just about a legend in this area in Coach Jenkins. Looking at the second half of their schedule last season, you just started feeling, hey, maybe this Daniel Boone team is starting to figure it out. They started running the football, which is part of that identity. And if you're Tennessee High, the last thing you want to do on the back half of your schedule is stub your toe before playoffs start.
Yeah, Coach Holt has told us just how much respect they have for that Boone program, Ron. And one name we haven't said yet is Elijah Plumbar for Tennessee High, who will be getting the football a lot for the Vikings this year. Now, sort of an interesting last day of our regular season, Ron, as we're going to have our first ever flex game. We've got 2 games to choose from as Volunteer travels to play Sullivan East on Friday, October 30th. Jefferson County, the Patriots, will travel to play Westridge. We don't yet know which of those games we're going to do. We're kind of going to play it by ear and see which game matters more for postseason play, and that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, and both of these teams at this point in time could be fighting for their very lives. Westridge, as we've already talked about, they don't want that 4 seed. Where are they going to be at? And for East, can they put something together this season, a little bit of a stretch here towards the end where they could be looking at a postseason bid?
Now, as we've gone through this schedule, we've just been able to hit a few notes on each of these games, but we're going to break this down even further on our Gridiron Game Day preview show, which will begin airing on August 13th all the way up to our first game on August 20th. And Ron, that's the show that I know you love because we get to dig into X's and O's, talk more player names, and really learn a little bit more about who is on these teams.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And, you know, last year you and I probably called each other a couple hundred times just talking about different players' names and strategy. And that's such a fun show because that's where we break down X's and O's and we talk about the team's strengths and weaknesses and what they need to do to make the most of their 2026 season.
Another exciting year of Gridiron Game Day. There's your schedule for 2026. Be sure to keep watching. There's more Hometown Connection coming up right after this.
Welcome back. Well, as you've seen, that was a lot of great things going on in Bristol, and I'm really looking forward to football season.
Football season, it's an exciting time.
Yeah.
Another exciting time. We are full of exciting times on this show. Another one is my favorite part of every show, which is our employee highlight videos. And this week we're going to hear from Chase Hartsock, who is a utility service technician, and we're really excited to learn more about Chase. Chase, take it away.
My name is Chase Hartsock. I'm a utility tech here. When I get here in the mornings, make sure that my truck is fully stocked for the day with anything I might need. The biggest part of my day is reading meters. Once I get done with that, I can start working on water heater maintenance or fiber maintenance. So I grew up in Kingsport, Tennessee, went to high school at Sullivan North, played football there. So I actually got to play against Sullivan East on Gridiron game day. I got picked to play in the FCA All-Star game at the end of the season, but I ended up tearing my ACL before I was able to play in it. After that, I decided to go to Northeast, pursue an electrical degree. That's kind of how I ended up here. I met my girlfriend when I was in high school. She went to Sullivan South High School. We worked at Food City together and kind of met from there. Now she's a special education teacher here in Sullivan County. Outside of work, really big into fishing. Smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, it's usually what I go for. Try to get out to the river every chance I can, any nice day. I like hiking, disc golfing, anything outdoors I like getting into. Living in the Bristol area, there's just a lot to do. You got the mountains, lakes, there's a lot of opportunities to fish. One of the things I find rewarding about working at BTES is being able to repair fiber for the community, say a storm rolls through. So once we get that repaired, we can leave knowing that everybody's services are back up. Just working in my department, we're all pretty close, so usually work alone, but if we run into something, we can pick up the phone, call whoever, and get somebody to come out and help. Exceeding expectations at BTES means to me just trying to do the best that we can do with what we've got, repair everything as fast as we can so we can get everybody's services back on. So working here at BTES isn't just about the work, it's about volunteering and donating to the community and giving back.